live. Stacy, Roby's here. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Derrick.
Great to have you. Thanks for coming. This is, I think this is a big topic right now as we've seen the market sort of level off a little bit. Can we say that? Can
Absolutely.
We agree on that? Okay. So the market's leveled off a little, which it does. That happens. It takes breathers here and there, but sellers still able to get great value out of selling their home if they do it right. Now, the higher price points, the more difficult. Is there's less demand typically. So you have to kind of generate that demand. And so that's what we're going to kind of talk about today is a recent listing, in fact, one that's pending or active right now?
It's pending.
Pending, okay, nice.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
29 days.
Of course it is.
Pending, yes.
Now, $1.5 million is this one here on Country Day Road in Poway.
Correct.
Where does that fit in the overall price point scheme in Poway? Like what's in your guess, median price in Poway is what?
Like 700,000.
Okay, so you're double the median here-ish.
Correct.
So that's going to be a more expensive home, a more elaborate home. It's an amazing house.
It is an amazing house.
Sick.
Absolutely.
But it's it's priced accordingly to that sickness.
It is. It is.
So, but now, how do you sell a property like that? When you're a seller, it's great to live in a house like this, but when you have to go sell it, you're talking to a smaller group of people, so you really need an agent who can dial things up. And that's what I wanted to do today was to find out from your standpoint, how do you do this? Because I knew you had multiple offers on that.
Had multiple offers. It started off a little slower, and the way I like to take and do the marketing is obviously get the professional photos, and depending on the size of the house and the type of house, do we do the video walkthrough, which is we use a company called a program called Matterport, and I hire this all out. I don't take the photos, and then we also take and do we do an aerial photo with a drone? Do we do twilight photos? What is really going to take and make this property pop? Because you only have one first chance. And you want to make sure when it hits the market, everybody goes, I love this house.
Yeah.
And the location helps, the backyard helps. I mean, it's an amazingly beautiful house. It's 25 square feet, and it's single level.
Really?
And that is a high demand right now. And it's not just a demand for families, it's also a demand for somebody that might be downsizing from a bigger house, like a 7,500 square foot house or something that's in the Heritage, which is out in a Poway area. They just want a little, they can't go into 2,500 because it's just too much of a culture shock. And so that's kind of, we saw a lot of couples, older couples that, 55 plus, I'm in that group right now, wanting this house. So it was interesting seeing that. And so once we get those professional photos, I mean, I like to do the pre-marketing, but if my clients, always want to listen to what they need, they wanted it on the market yesterday. So I had a week to get the property ready. Went in, did some staging recommendations. I mean, it was really a clean house anyway. So took and got all that together and put it on the market so that it would be available for the Realtor broker caravan. Wednesday morning is the due date for it to be on the caravan on Friday.
So is that something that you always do, like when you're looking at this? Because we have several things here from Facebook to individual property website. You mentioned the professional photography. There's YouTube videos.
Absolutely.
There's just listed. I think you did some pre-marketing as well for this.
A little bit of pre-marketing.
And is the pre-marketing, is that where you start, is the broker caravan?
The pre-marketing, if my client has the time for me to pre-market, I like to start it about 2 weeks ahead of time. And that can include direct mail, it includes social media, but to really do a really nice job with pre-marketing, I need to get the professional photos first.
Gotcha.
And on this particular listing, we did the professional photos on April 30th, and we listed it May 1st.
Gotcha.
So my turnaround time was quick. And because I wanted to make sure that the property gets into the caravan, because they do a presentation. They put it into a PowerPoint, they print out a paper tour so that agents at the tour can take it with them. And if you can do an add-on, but if you do an add-on, they don't get to see any of the photos.
And so is part of the theory here that, hey, listen, we don't know where the buyer's going to come from. So we have to, we can't just say, oh, well, this is where the buyers come from. It's this, it's Facebook, it's whatever. You kind of have to put it in a lot of different places because you don't know where that buyer's going to be.
Absolutely. And, buyers find their properties and then they find their agents. That's usually how it goes.
Really?
And sometimes they're working with an agent, but they're still finding the property and they're calling their agent saying, okay, I need to see this property. Because
Good
of
point.
all this, sites out there, you've got your Zillow, your Redfin, and it's interesting to find out which platform they prefer. And it's not just one platform. So, they also use Realtor.com, and I wanted to get as many agents through the property as possible. And we were listed, at the highest point in this development, in Bridlewood Country Estates, and wanted to get that top dollar. So we actually did a raffle, not a raffle, offered $100 to the agent who could tell us what they thought the sales price would be. So they came through. We haven't finalized it because it hasn't closed yet.
Right.
But I have all their information, and I will present that at the caravan.
That was smart.
And
that was smart because that's a contest people would want to get into.
Absolutely.
It's a challenge. It challenges your professional expertise, if you will, but it's also a curiosity factor. So that was a way for you to basically get agents more engaged in the property, because if they're thinking about, well, what is this place worth, they're looking at more elements of it than they may have otherwise, where they would just walk through and go, oh, that's nice, that needs work.
Yeah.
But instead they're going, no, let me see. How much kids?
Yeah.
That's so smart.
And do they
love it?
Understand the market? What's being sold. And then we also, provided refreshments. We had sandwiches and drinks, and it's like, okay, come look at this house. It's absolutely beautiful. And we probably had about 30 agents through there, which is really...
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a big number for a caravan. And I do want to say, hey, we are live right now on Facebook, so if you have questions for Stacy or what she did with this property, how she's marketing other properties, feel free to drop those. Or if you want to just say, hey, sweet yellow jacket, you can also do that. What's up, Larry? How you doing? He says, well done. Hey, Keith. Yes,
hey,
she
Larry.
does. What's going on, guys? How y'all doing? Happy Tuesday to y'all. Drop your comments in. We'll get to you, no problem. So when I look at the photos of this home, it really is pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, really nice. But again, that price point makes it more difficult. So now here you are, you're going through the steps. You've done the broker caravan. You've already had creative marketing in there. The contests to have them guess where it was going to close
Absolutely.
at was really smart. You have also given them a reason to remember the place because you had a great event there. You fed them refreshments. So now this is the part that I think a lot of home sellers don't understand, that hey, you have to not just go after the buyers directly. That's something you have to do, but you have to get it out to the agent community because there's a lot of homes out there.
There is.
And which ones are they going to remember? Which ones are they going to actually say, you know what, you need to go look at this house? Because it's a lot of times it's the agents. If someone is not an active buyer, meaning that they're not hounding, the websites to find the properties on their own and looking and getting notifications and all over it, a lot of times for those buyers, which is most of them, it's their agent saying, we should really go look at this one, or nudging them in a certain direction that will actually take them and get them there. So I love the fact that you took the time to do that, and I think your sellers obviously appreciate it. You did get multiple offers.
Did get multiple offers. The other thing that
impressive.
We did is we, between agents, you have confidential remarks, and really we're trying to get people to just limit showings until the public open house. They came through on Friday, and then I want you to bring your clients back on Sunday. And one of the reasons why we did that is I really wanted to have a lot of traffic on that day, and it worked. We had like 17 plus groups come through. We had 3 or 4 families that stayed for 45 minutes plus.
That's incredible.
We also had one of our lender partners, Rick Sidley, help with the open house
Rick.
because I
Yes.
knew it was going to be busy, and it was slammed. We advertised it with refreshments. We had Jersey Mike sandwiches, and people came through and asked questions, and actually it was a lot of fun. I mean, when you have a slow open house, It's boring.
Yeah, time creeps by.
Oh my gosh, it
But
does.
you took the extra steps.
Yeah.
You did the marketing. We had some stuff we're going to show you here, but I really want to applaud you on the fact that you got so many people to the broker open. You got so many people to the open house.
Yay!
That you were able to get multiple offers for your sellers who are selling at a $1.5 million price range in a market that has slowed down.
It has.
It's plateaued. And you did it with some of these things. So let's take a look at some of these things here, Carrie. Let's pull up my computer real quick. I just want to show, this is on your website.
Yep.
So on your website, you have a specific link for this property that you can promote on these different platforms. And it shows all the information about the home, the description. It has the videos here. You can go through all the pictures. It tells you everything about it. So you've got this right here, property details, gives you the MLS number. You can see everything.
Yes.
Right here on this direct link, which is great. So it's a one-stop shop for someone who wants to find out more information about this property, or just scroll through the photos here. Okay, hey, here they are. Look at this sweet master bath with the vaulted ceilings.
Huge.
You can play catch in there.
Yeah.
So you've got this, and so the house itself is really amazing. There's no question about that. But the way you've showcased it is incredible. And you also have separately not just put this stuff on your website, but you have YouTube videos here, which have been optimized as well. You did an email campaign.
Yep.
All of these things driving people toward the curiosity about this home.
Absolutely.
And there's no one thing that does the trick. You've got to do it all, right?
You do have to do it all. And the other thing that we do while it's active is a minimum of 2 posts per week on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. We also take and write blog posts about the area to promote whatever the area is. This house happens to be in Poway, but it could be at another location, and then we'd look at, okay, what do you do in that area? What's fun? And what would appeal to a person that wanted to buy that house? And so this next blog post that we've actually put out is about the Blue Sky Ecological Reserve. And there's a whole trail system in Poway that not everybody knows about. So it's just getting as many eyes onto the property as possible.
Got to get the All Trails app.
Yes.
Gotta
It
get
is
that.
actually, I do have it. It's great. Yeah.
It's really awesome,
It
right?
doesn't have some of the secret ones, though.
Really? They
Yes.
say it has the secrets.
Yes, I have some of the secrets, and especially in North Poway.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to hit you up next time I'm out there. What's up, Josh? We are live
Hey,
on
Josh.
Facebook here. Say what's up if you would like to, or you can do as Josh did and say "sweet yellow jacket!" exclamation point. The other thing that I thought was really cool, and this takes a lot of time, is the Matterport 3D tour.
It
Especially
does.
a big house like this. This is a very time-consuming thing. So you can see what's really neat about this, though, with this whole Matterport thing, is it's three-dimensional. It's a legitimate virtual tour. In the old days, we used to say virtual tour, which is really like a slideshow that was sort
Correct.
of panning around. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But this is truly a virtual tour. If I want to walk to the kitchen, I can just point and click this guy, and I can walk into the kitchen.
You can.
Look at this. How cool is that?
And you can feel the spaciousness and the great room, with the family room and the kitchen and the breakfast dining room. That's not the only dining room in the house. And then outside of there is an outdoor covered dining room. So that's what's really appealed. This house just shows really well, and it's an entertainer's house. It's somebody that wants to entertain.
Yeah, this is a really fun thing. You can get lost in
Yes.
in this place because it's so big. But you look here, you can go to these specific points. You can say, you know what, I want to go see what's in that hallway. Let's just go this way. What's over here? Oh, let's go here. Oh, there's the front door. So what is my entrance going to look like? Well, let's just walk over here and then turn over and look. How about a grand entrance
Yep.
with vaulted ceilings, tons of natural light, and a sick fireplace? How does that sound? And there's the other dining space you were talking about right there. So, this is a beyond detail. This is a huge undertaking to Matterport a home like this. And I love that you guys took the extra time to do it, because what you ended up doing was, when you overdo it on the marketing, you get an advantage. You had multiple offers.
You do.
And that helps you with negotiating. that also helps you in the case that a buyer might fall out,
Absolutely.
which happens.
And it happened. And it did happen.
And it did happen.
It did happen. Got a great offer, and fortunately, it was within the first 4 days, so it really didn't affect. So the other backup offers, they were still interested. If it would have gotten into 2 weeks, then it would have been a new marketing campaign to get bodies back in through, through the open house. People to come in and see it. And it took. We didn't get the offer right away. I mean, it was just about 29 days. So we did open houses every weekend.
It's so funny that you say that because, I'm from Missouri, right? How typical time on market is 6 months. 4 to 6 months is that's how long it takes to sell a house. Not anymore. It's been hot, recently.
Right.
So they're selling in 90, 120 days. But here, you say, well, it didn't sell that fast. It was 29 days.
I know.
For $1.5 million in a market that's leveling off. I mean, that's really, really good.
Yeah.
That's really, really good. I want to just make sure that everyone understands expectation-wise. That's incredible, especially at that price point, because what we've seen is a lot of stuff sits.
It does.
Stuff will sit. If it's not priced properly, if it's not marketed, presented properly,
Correct.
it can just sit there. Great houses, nice houses in some
Yeah.
cases. They'll
They
just
do.
sit there, especially in these price points where you get above $1 million, really above 800,000.
Yeah. Poway, it's 1, 2 and above.
That's where it starts.
Is where it kind of starts, especially North Poway. That's where people are going, nah, I mean, it's just too much. 1.5, then that is usually, it's a longer market time. But, we're getting back, we call it a leveling off. We're getting back to what's a normal market.
Yeah, agreed.
Houses aren't supposed to go on the market and get multiple offers in a couple of days.
Yeah, with no effort. Yeah, that's not supposed to happen.
It's not supposed to happen, no. There are pockets of communities, though, in high demand where that does happen.
True.
So, but it's a small little pocket. But for the average, it's not that.
So in getting the multiple offers, though, so you were able to save the deal because you had a buyer canceled, the first buyer canceled. So
Correct.
you have a backup offer you can go to right away. That's really nice. So you're able to still execute in the same time frame pretty much. And you also have a demand. You've created enough of a frenzy that you now are able to get the price, higher than you would if you just had one buyer and you'd been on the market for 180 days. I mean, they're coming in with a knife for sure.
Oh, they are.
I mean, there's no doubt about it.
They're in the driver's seat.
Yes.
Yeah.
But when you have, an open house that's crowded and you're doing multiple counter offers, highest and best,
Yep.
everybody knows, hey, someone's going to get this house and they're going to be really happy about it.
Absolutely.
Is it going to be you or not?
Yep.
Get out your pencil, sharpen it up. And so that's a really, really cool to see you guys being able to do that and be so successful with it. It's just really, really neat. Any other secrets that you have about how you get the word out and are able to create so much demand for a property like this?
Most of it's been, the social media, making sure that it gets in front of, as many people as possible. On Instagram, you use tags. YouTube, you use tags. And, the people save the tags. I've become much more proficient at Instagram. And they'll start going, oh, I like that tag. And so they'll start liking that, if you use that same tag for, let's say, luxury homes for sale. People want to see luxury homes for sale. And they'll go, oh, I'll follow that tag.
It's
so then it'll
interesting.
pop
I've been
up.
getting notifications from Instagram saying, you liked 4 posts this week with this tag. Follow this tag. I guess if I say that, yes, I haven't done it yet, but if I say yes, they'll start showing me stuff that's tagged with that, I'm assuming.
They will.
Is that what it is?
That's exactly what it is.
That's cool.
Yeah,
So you can throw some different real estate tags in there and start to get people paying attention to it from that standpoint.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
So, and we've, been building our profile, and then we cross-share it, on my personal, and then my husband Keith, who's my partner, share it on his too. And so it's just another way to make it exponential.
When you're marketing a property like this, and we'll just talk about this one specifically, I know they're
Yeah.
all different, but do you target Poway? Do you think the buyer is going to come from the area more than likely than not?
We can't target any longer.
No.
No, Facebook is because it violates fair housing. So we
Really?
can't target. It has to be. You can take it from the property and generalize it out, a radius. You can do a map, but you can't do specific gender. You can't do specific age, income, and all those stats are available.
Very interesting.
But because why are you excluding the 18-year-old that's not going to probably be able to buy the property? I mean, they should be allowed to see it too, and of course they're allowed to see it. But and it's fine. I mean, so you just it's more of a blanket approach versus a specific target approach.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and that's just been recently that
Well,
they've
just
done
where
that.
the buyers come from. Do you find that the buyer comes from the local area on stuff like this more often than not? Or are they coming from a distance?
There's been some relocation interest, and they found them on the syndicated sites. They're like, okay, I'm moving to San Diego. I saw this house. I saw it on an open house, and they came to see it. So the syndication is something that's an even playing field for all realtors.
Yeah.
You put it in the MLS, you check the box that you want it syndicated, it goes out to everybody. Now, the quality of what you put in there
There you go.
is really the difference. I mean, when I take and fill out the property description, if it's got solar panels, I'm clicking it. If it's got a jacuzzi, I'm clicking it. They're not all required, and that actually helps take and make it more searchable. Single level, that is a required one, but what do they have? In the property description, this house has a owned solar system, so their utility bills electricity was less than $1,000 last year
Wow.
for a
Huge home.
4,500 plus square foot home. So those are things that you really want to take and push and make sure that whatever description's there is syndicated out, because everybody has their personal preference of which site they like to use.
Just personal preference question for you on something like this. Do you like to use a range price on a home that's at this level, that $1.5 million range, or do you like to go with a solid number?
The problem with doing a range is, I like range, but when it's syndicated out, the only price that is syndicated is the high range, the price. They don't do a range on Zillow. They don't do a range on Redfin. And so, if you're at 1.5 and you really want to tickle somebody that is, $1,450,000, they're not going to see it.
Yeah, just won't show up.
So you're better off to choose a price, see how it goes. If you don't get any offers in what you consider a reasonable time in California market,
Right.
Right, you might do a price adjustment.
Yeah.
So that you can start, seeing the people that are going, oh yeah, I'm there. I want to be under 1.5. Maybe I can do this. And we implemented that strategy and it worked.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it definitely worked. That is for sure. What do you see right now? Just to get a couple tips from you since we have you here.
Okay.
What do you see right now? Sort of like the number one thing to do for sellers as they're leading up to the time where they want to actually be on the market.
What they need to be doing is thinking about, I got a lot of stuff in my house and I'm moving. Pack it, get rid of it. You want that house to be as open as possible. You don't want it to be completely empty. But if you have any, family photos on the wall, take them down. You're going to take them with you anyway. If you've got too much furniture in a room, take some of those pieces, put them in the garage if you want to take them with you. You want it to be as clean and depersonalized, as neutral as possible. That's really important. The other thing you want to do is, walk through, if you have, with your agent, as long as they're a good agent, and look at what might need to be patched up or painted. You take all those photos down, you might have holes in the wall. Maybe that wall needs to be painted. Maybe you like the pink, the pink bedroom for your daughter. Maybe it needs to be a neutral, off-white. Just those things so people can walk in and go, you know what, I can live here.
Feel like a clean slate.
It's a clean slate.
Yeah, you don't want to feel like you're buying someone else's house, right?
Right. You don't want to buy somebody else's stuff.
Right.
You want to put your own stuff in there. And so that's really an important thing. And understanding that how long that can take. I mean, if you've lived in a house for 20 years, you've collected 20 years of stuff. And if you're not somebody that moves it out and rotates it through, it could take a lot of time.
It's amazing how much stuff accumulates.
Oh, it is.
So what about for people on the other side of this? I know you have multiple offers on this home. So if you're a buyer, how do you stick out if you find one of these gems and you're in a battle for it? Like, what's the best thing to do to really stick out as a buyer?
It's all about relationships. It's all about communication. If you don't have a relationship with the realtor on the other side, the way they manage contacting you, how quickly, if you say, okay, like we had this example, 2 offers. Okay, this is what I need you to do. The person that does it the quickest and completely, they're on their game. That they're willing to, they're going to make it happen. And so that's really an important part. If you have a compelling story from the buyers, send a letter with your family photo, why you really want this house, what it's going to do for your life. Because, real estate, it is a home. It's an investment, but it is your home. So you want to take and, pull out the emotional heartstrings to maybe, stand out compared to the other one.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Yeah.
That's great advice. And I think there's real opportunity for buyers right now.
Absolutely.
I really, really do. I think there are a lot more deals on the market than people would believe there to be. But you have to get out there and hustle,
You do.
You got to pay attention. You got to hustle. You need your agent to work for you. And then when you do find the one, and this is what I've noticed, I'm sure you guys notice this too, when people walk into the one, they get really quiet. Like, looking at properties is fun. It's lighthearted. Yeah. Everyone's laughing and having a good time. And then you walk into the one and you're like, so all of a sudden it's silent.
Right. Yeah.
So when you find the one, be ready to pull the trigger. That's my number one piece of advice is already have your pre-approval in place. Already know exactly what you can put for earnest money. Already know exactly what you have for a down payment. Have all that stuff determined ahead of time. So there's just talking about a number, an offer number. Get it in, make the term sexy, and make it clear that you are committed.
Absolutely.
That's important.
And that is the agent, making sure his clients have all that together.
Right.
And if you ask for it and you get it within, an hour, it's like they're prepared.
Yeah, they're ready to buy.
If you ask for it and it comes the next day, you're like, well, I got somebody else that's actually
piecemeal. Yeah.
Right.
Here's part of it. Here's the other
Yeah.
part. We're scrambling over here.
Yeah.
You know what that transaction's going to look like.
You do, and that's the strength of the agent is really what it is.
Because it's scary when you're a seller. When you accept an offer, you go off the market.
You do.
So you want to feel very confident that they are into this because you're in.
Yeah, you're committed.
You're committed. You need them to be committed too. And the buyers take a little bit of a hand. It's always tough being a seller once you're in escrow because the buyer is sort of in control of everything. It's on their timeline now.
Right.
And so I think it's important that if you're the buyer to communicate to the seller, hey, I am going to come through. Like, I'm here. I'm committed. I'm in. Mm-hmm. I'm ready to go. And if you can do that, I think you can get some really good deals out in the marketplace today. And I just think it's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing all this stuff.
Oh, you're welcome.
It's really, really cool for you to share all this and show people like, hey, this is what your agent should be doing. This is the level of activity, action, effort that should go into, especially selling a home like this. It's a beautiful home, but at $1.5 million, a higher price point, you need a little extra oomph.
You do.
To get the eyeballs, to get the attention, and you guys were able to get multiple offers, have a huge broker open and a huge open house. It's just really cool for you to come and share, Stacy. I really appreciate your time.
Oh, you're welcome. And thank you also for having me and allowing me to share, what I get to do every day.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And hey, share this video with your friends. Make them smarter than everyone else. We'll see you soon.